Hi, I'm Steve McKenzie with McKenzie Design, and we're here with another installation of New Listing. And I'm here again with Allie Mae.
Hey, I'm Allie Mae with Atlanta Fine Homes, Sotheby's International Realty.
Allie, I am so excited to be in this house today. I want you to tell me a little bit about the listing in the neighborhood, because I'm enthusiastic about both.
Okay, great. So this home is in the neighborhood of Ansley Park, which was founded in the early 1900s. Ansley is a very unique neighborhood. It was developed with large boulevards, streets, sidewalks on both sides, and lots of park space. The purpose of the development was to appeal to a wealthy, prominent, affluent buyer, and actually that still holds true today.
The proximity to everything that's happening in Atlanta, this is like a dream, both location and this home. And while we're talking about the home, it looks to me like your clients that listed this had already done the remodel.
About half. So when we purchased the home for them a few years ago, the upstairs had been fully renovated into a large master suite. There had been rooms that were touched on the main floor, but when they purchased it, one of them is an amazing designer, and they came in and finished renovating the main floor and then blew out the entire basement to make another living room, kitchen, and 2 full bedrooms and baths.
Oh, wow. Well, talk to me a little bit about the benefits of buying a home that's already been remodeled versus one with the remodeling in the future.
Sure. So I think with the popularity of TV shows these days showing renovations, people assume that it's easier than it is. And while it can be very fun and rewarding, the process, unless you have the money and the carrying cost available to hold 2 mortgages while you do a renovation, which will always go over budget, it will always go over time, it may be better to go into a house that's already turnkey and save the headache and the stress.
Absolutely. And I have to say, as a designer, I enjoy both of those processes. I love making my mark on the renovation, but it's really exciting because then you can spend your money on furnishings and really make a difference. So
right.
I'm excited about both opportunities.
Yeah.
But let's take a look at this one and talk about some things we might do.
Okay.
Well, here we are in the living room, and I love houses that have this bright white palette, neutral. But once you move in, you've got to put your mark on it, and this is where we, the designers, can really help. Let's talk a little bit, Allie. What are your thoughts about putting a house on the market? Is it best neutral, etc.? And then I want to talk about what I do in this room.
Oh, sure. So, of course, this shows well when you have a white palette, it's neutral for everyone to imagine their own things in here. I do think it is fun when you see people integrate color and their own personality in the rooms. I actually would never make someone white out a place just to sell it. I think that it's really exciting for buyers to see how we live.
Absolutely. I think people can relate to it. And give the buyer some credit. I think people can see beyond. But if I had the chance to work on a room like this, I'd love to tell you what I do.
Oh my gosh, please.
I think I'm in a blue phase right now. Now, obviously, yes. But obviously, I would design it for the customer and what they like. But if I had no client involved, I definitely would soften this room by beginning by putting drapes at the windows. I think I'd keep the body of the drapes neutral, like a linen or a wool, but run a really pretty tape down the edge. And there's 2 alternatives I'm looking at here. One's a little more conservative, a little narrow, and then this really big overstated. And I'd run that down, and that would set the tone for the color in the room. I like to bring in many textures into a room, and I think I would go with velvet side chairs and a navy to kind of bring this blue back in. And if you wanted to soften the walls, I think they'd be beautiful with a texture that just had like a grass cloth that was woven that had both navy and a neutral texture in it. And then I would put a texture of a woven on the sofa, again to bring in different textures within the room. And then you've got a nice neutral palette of blues in here and whites. I would keep the bookshelves black. But then what I would do is use my pillows and books as my accents. And I tend to think this would be really pretty with a red, bold accent, like this velvet from Schumacher. I just think it'd be gorgeous and wow when you walk in.
I'm excited to see your concept of what this room could be.
I think it'd be a lot of fun. Well, Allie, here we are in the dining room, and I want to talk to you about something we hear a lot of conversation about. And that is open concept.
Sure.
I really love intimate rooms when you're entertaining. You can have dining separate from the kitchen, separate from where you have cocktails. But a lot of people are requesting, and I know you hear it all the time, an open concept. What do you think about the pros and cons of that?
So it's interesting. I'm seeing real 50-50 on that these days. I would say 10 years ago, everything was open concept. It was going into a home. How can we open this up? These clients, they actually entertained a lot and liked the separation of the kitchen from the dining and living space, especially if you're having a caterer come in. It keeps the mess contained. I think what's exciting about today's buyer is that you're not only seeing personality in their own design aesthetic, but you're also seeing people wanting to have kind of a throwback to the way things used to be with more formal entertaining.
Yeah, in this space, I mean, it is absolutely possible. This wall that's behind us, you could absolutely open up and have a full-on open concept to the kitchen from here. I did notice they've already opened up this from the hallway and given a little more space. But if it was important, you could do that. But if you want a more intimate setting and you want to keep the mess hidden, this is a great way to do it.
I think so. Yeah, you could do either in this home, and it would both ways would be wonderful.
Well, that concludes another episode of New Listing, and Allie, I can't thank you enough.
Yes, thank you for joining us today.
I'm so excited to see what our next listing is.
Me too.